Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, Laura.
And I'm May, and today we are talking about Ballerina Farm. You've heard about the controversy, probably.
We're talking about
TikTok.
Her, and so is the rest of the internet.
Yes.
We're all talking about her.
We think we have a very hot take that you might not have heard yet. I know there's been several conflicting takes on the internet. There's been a lot of discourse about this. We have some new information that we think you guys are going to like. And we're also going to do a quick recap, too, if you're not familiar with the story. And I also wanted to chat about the opening ceremonies of the Olympics.
That was also spicy.
Very spicy, very fun, very cool, very French. So, yeah, we're going to chat a little bit.
Enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold
from
on.
that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
Alrighty. Ballerina Farm.
Ballerina Farm. Wow.
Tradwives as a whole.
Yes.
Ballet. Is it a sport?
The sourdough starter of it all this shit. I mean, it's
the Temu merchandise of it all.
That kind of shit. Yeah, because like after this became such a big internet sensation and everyone's sort of talking about it and whether or not it's okay to be a tradwife and if this is promoting a type of feminism they don't want in the world and all this shit, which we'll get into our opinion on that. But I looked into what they were actually selling and I was like, oh, this is like a butcher box and then a bunch of weird fucking
a couple
Temu
knickknacks,
products.
a couple Temu products. This is a fitting story for us to cover right now, mostly because it's going viral. So you guys, hope you're enjoying it because of that. But then secondarily, because we were just in Texas for a number of days and I saw so many cows.
So many cows. A lot of hillbillies, not the ones at our show. They were great people.
Actually, great. Abilene, I owe you an apology, Abilene. I will say it on the record. Abilene was a fantastic show. We had a great time.
That was one of the best shows I've done all summer.
It was so much fun. Those people were like so fucking cool.
Very cool. And a lot of military people.
I came in there like a judgmental little bitch.
Yeah.
Little city bitch.
Me and Laura were driving fucking 4 hours outside of Austin and we were just like, this is the simple life. We're just like two city girls down in Texas.
I yelled cow every time I saw a cow. And so I was yelling cow every 3 minutes.
Yes.
Cow.
Yes. We were just rolling into town like that town's fucking worst nightmare. Just two women about to say a lot of cuss words.
A lot of curses.
Pulling in with Chapel Roan blasting.
Yeah, it was good.
But no, it was actually a fantastic show. It was amazing. Our second show, not quite as much, but it was okay. And so good times.
And that
in
one was just pretty close to the city, and so just goes to show you never know.
You never know.
And Abilene, I probably won't be back, but I said that last time I was in Abilene, which was a really not good show. So, that's where I was coming from. But I don't think I'm going to come back again.
Okay.
I'll say that. And see me there in 1 year, probably. Despite my best efforts, I'll be back in fucking Abilene. Just like, hey, I get like a following in Abilene only. It's like, why does she love coming here?
I did promote our podcast at the end of my set, so maybe they're listening. Hi, Abilene. We hope you're a big fan.
We had a great time.
We had a wonderful time. I was like, when I got back here, I was like, I'm not going on tour for such a long time because I'm famously pregnant. And I was like, I just want to like chill, vibe,
Be
whatever.
pregnant, grow
and
a
I'm
child.
going to the Catskills this weekend. I'm like, God damn it.
Are you going to Catskills?
Yeah. Ben Kirschenbaum, friend of the pod, asked me to open for him in the Catskills. I'm just going to go.
Okay, that'll be fine.
I don't know. Might be some like weird like Jewish show. I'm not Jewish, so that's a strange
They'll
pick
enjoy
to have
that.
me. But
They'll
we'll
enjoy
see.
that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a party.
I'm some pregnant shiksa.
Pregnant chicks on the Catskills. Catch May in the Catskills. I will be here in New York City doing shows to the Jews in New York.
Oh, that's a much better
Stand Up
crop.
NY. I'll be doing a show with them. I mean, it's just a show, so come to it if you want. I don't know.
Right.
I'll probably repost it at some point. Just a random show.
Before we get more into Ballerina Farm, I just wanted to quickly talk about the opening ceremony. So I missed it because I miss everything live. I miss everything Olympics.
We were also
we
were driving to Abilene, so like we were occupied.
We were occupied. But I obviously heard the news. I heard what was noteworthy of it or whatever, and I just watched that metal band with the headless Marie Antoinette. I gotta say, I loved it. I thought it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the clips that came out of it, and it just read as very French.
Yeah.
And also, like, I think the French don't have much. I think their national identity is a little in crisis. It was reading like they were having a little bit of a crisis.
Right.
They were like, remember when we killed Marie Antoinette? You remember that part?
And we're like, yes, of course. That's the most fun thing about you.
Yeah, no one asked. They're like, no, we really killed her. And we're like, yeah, this is the Olympics. It's 2024. Like, have you done other stuff? And they're like, yeah, here's some gay people maybe doing the Last Supper. But then also, no, it's just the Greek. They're recreating a Greek scene. And now the Christians are mad.
Give me a break. They knew they were going to upset the Christians.
I'm sure they knew they were going to upset the Christians. I did read someone's take on it, like an art critic, and they were saying that this was just the safest controversial art you can create.
It's true. It's 100%
what are the Christians going to do? Pray for you?
Yeah.
I'm going to pray for you.
Hopes and pray. What was that accent?
I'm going to pray for you. It's Christian accent. What are you talking about? That's Christian. I don't know. I'm like, I went to did all the things. You know, I got confirmed or whatever the hell.
Here's what I will say. I saw that an article basically interviewed the artist or the creative director around it, and he was like, oh, we're playing up all the French stereotypes, and it's supposed to be like tongue-in-cheek camp. And it's like, well, nobody got that. We just want good.
Yeah.
We just
want
good.
Never forget when China had the Olympics.
I knew you were going to say this.
Oh, and the world asshole collectively puckered when they did it. We were all like, oh shit.
It was crazy.
Crazy. It was 2008 in Beijing, and they had one of many things that they did. But there was that drum whatever, not solo, but like this big like drum song. Drum song. Yeah. And they had 2008 Chinese drummers in unison doing whatever the song, and they did not miss one beat. I think they had a gun on each one of their heads. Snipers around the thing, and they were like, if you miss you and then we have your family back here also.
Damn.
Dude, they nailed it. It was genuinely terrifying. But good for them. And that was also when they introduced cloud seeding, because remember, that was a really big deal where they were like, it's not gonna rain for the opening ceremonies. And everyone goes, how do you know that, China? And they're like, it won't rain. And they're like, no, what do you mean? And they're like, we'll shoot the clouds. And they did. They would shoot them with like, I think it was, didn't we talk about this a couple episodes?
Some weird like
silver iodide.
Something like
lightly
that.
Making that up. I think that was again what I guessed last time too. But it was something in that family.
Point is, they controlled the weather.
They controlled the weather.
Which is crazy that it's still a Jewish stereotype, because it's like, guys, it should be a Chinese stereotype.
China was like, no, we will not have rain at the opening ceremonies.
Also, famously,
won't happen. And then it rained in France.
And I'm like, the
French
should have
shot the clouds.
Should have been shooting at the clouds. I know you're European, you don't believe in guns, but you need to shoot.
Should have got a couple cloud
actual rifles.
Cloud guns. I'll tell you that. You know where it's not going to rain? LA.
Yeah.
America, we're going to shoot those clouds. Fuck those clouds.
We're going to shoot those fucking clouds. I'm so tongue-tied today.
That's fine.
I'm like, clouds. I literally...
This is not a serious topic.
Also, I'm like, actually, in LA, we probably would have shot the crowds. I was right.
And the clouds.
I was right when I said it the first time.
Yes, you were. Yeah. We're like, actually, this is America, so we'll do both?
Yeah.
No one's said.
Good luck, everybody.
That's our culture.
That's our culture.
So how dare you? They kill Marie Antoinette. We kill our citizens.
Yes.
It's our culture. Too much?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And then I also think the drag portion of the opening ceremony was also just supposed to drum up controversy and be like,
which was so funny. They were like, you know what we need is to get more views. You're the Olympic opening ceremonies. We're gonna watch.
Yeah, we're gonna watch.
You don't need to like figure out a hook to get people to click the video.
Right. Well, maybe, because I mean, we missed it, and then now I'm like, well, I got to see this.
But
if it was just like, it was good and Celine Dion sang well, I'd be like, I haven't seen Celine Dion singing. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I've seen that bitch sing a lot.
Vegas for a while, right? Like,
yeah.
Also, didn't the Olympics take it down too?
They took down the Last Supper. Is that the same thing? The drag portion?
That was the yes. The Last Supper was the drag performance.
Got it.
That was like
they did take it down.
If you didn't watch it, go check it out because they need the views. But basically, all these like people in drag it was a bunch of different people laying across tables and stuff and like replicating what looked like the Last Supper. Christians got super mad, and then they came out and they go, "You guys are fucking uncultured." It was actually this like painting of Greek gods that we were imitating.
Yes.
And they're like, "It's a very famous painting. You guys clearly don't follow art."
Yeah.
Well, we're French, so we follow art.
The most
and we were like, "Fuck you. That was the Last Supper, idiots."
And like, give me a fucking break if someone on your team wasn't like, you know what, this actually looks a lot like the Last Supper. You know, it's gonna be real big mad about this. Fucking evangelical, stupid people.
You know these two
Sorry
paintings.
if you're evangelical.
These two paintings, and this one is orders of magnitude more famous.
Yes.
And they look pretty similar. Which one do you think it might be?
Yeah.
The French are like, obviously this one. The Greek gods. What?
It's the Greek gods. No, duh.
Yeah. Mon coeur.
Yeah.
I only know that word from The Boys.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. They're just like some
France.
wicked obscure painter. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, they're just like, I can't believe you don't know them.
Yeah. You don't know every piece of work from Caravaggio.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're French. We do art. We do art. We do brie cheese.
Yes.
We do LVMH. And we do...
Yes.
That's it. What else do they do?
Uh,
I gotta say, France,
know.
pick it up. But actually, I like visiting your place.
yes. Visiting, outstanding.
They do tourism. They do LVMH.
Yes. They do fashion. They do
do
Paris
fashion.
Week.
Fashion Paris Week. Or
Paris Fashion Week.
Yes.
I am tired. I'll pick it up.
That's
But,
okay. You're growing a child. I have a little pep in my step, as you can probably tell.
Good for you.
I'll crash later. Don't
Okay,
worry.
good.
But I'm also not growing a baby, so it's like, you know, that I know of.
Yeah, they have cuntiness.
Yeah, what are their major exports? Cuntiness is definitely number one.
Cuntiness is that's like number one that they're known for. I like that though.
It's nice.
It's nice.
It's nice. Oh, champagne.
Champagne.
They are
Coq au vin.
Coffee.
Moulin Rouge. They have like
These are their
dancers.
national exports. Yes, dancers.
Dancers. Have you ever been to Crazy Horse?
No, what the hell's that?
Oh, it's when I am in Europe, I like to see naked ladies.
yeah,
I
it
don't
seems
know.
like that's all you do.
That's really all I do. When I go to Europe, I just find the naked ladies and I'm like, dance for me, naked lady. It's
and they're like, "You're a woman."
it's basically just this really fun place you go and there's like a fun performance, but it's just a bunch of naked ladies. And they all look exactly the same. And I'm like, where did they find everybody with the exact same size breasts?
Oh, weird.
Like exact same nipples. It's like really crazy.
I guess that's their national industry.
I guess so. And they do like the can, but everyone's like completely nude. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, yikes.
yeah.
Yikes. That's quite the dance to do in the nude.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
You know, it's so funny. My parents want to come visit for like the holidays period, which is lovely.
Yeah.
And my dad is like, we got to see the Rockettes. He's like dead set on going to see the Rockettes.
Parents fucking love the Rockettes.
I got to go see the Rockettes.
Okay,
'Cause
good.
my dad is like, won't take no for an answer. So we got to see the Rockettes.
Honestly,
Also,
it's
it's
gonna be
expensive.
Fun. What? Really? How much?
Yeah, it was like $300 or something like that.
Oh wow, that is expensive.
I don't know. Like, it's kind of a lot.
That's a lot.
Kind of a lot to see the Rockettes.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't know. I mean, my mom was always asking to go see the fucking Rockettes. It's got to be an old people thing. But I
They
would want
love
to
it.
go with like a little kid or something. I'd be like, look at that.
Yeah, exactly. Look,
There's a high-
she looks like look how look
Yeah.
her legs right up here.
Yeah, she looks like a nutcracker.
She gets paid $30,000 a year.
If that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Go see that.
Look at that.
This lady's dancing. $30,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. They gotta make more money, but
They
anyway,
gotta make more money. That's
especially if you're paying $300 fucking to see them.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
We gotta bump up.
Should we
those
can we get
numbers.
like a GoFundMe at the end of it?
GoFundMe. Speaking of GoFundMe,
Yes.
should we put this news out before we get into our hot takes about Ballerina Farm? I think it's the spiciest, newest take. So
okay.
I just want to.
lead with it. Okay, so
We'll lead with
I
it.
think let's talk about just in general Ballerina Farm. If you're not familiar, look her up real quick. Pop her into your Instagram or something like that. She's a mega influencer. I think she has like 6.6 million followers or something like that.
Now she has 9.
Okay,
yeah.
probably from all this controversy.
Yes.
So, see, that's what I'm fucking saying. And this is our hot take. Grifter. She's a grifter.
Everyone feels so sorry for this woman for a
No.
lot of reasons. We
Grifter.
think that she's in on this whole thing because she's done a lot of other questionable things. So she is the trad wife. She's been labeled that. She herself says she doesn't identify with that label, but essentially she was going to Juilliard to be a ballerina, so she's fucking good. real good.
Yeah.
Like very, very good to go to Juilliard.
Another hot take, Juilliard, it's obviously elite, but like if you're actually going to be a ballerina, you probably wouldn't go to Juilliard. You'd go straight in.
What? No, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know about that take.
Yeah. All right. I don't have a ton to back that up beyond. That's what I think.
Okay. I'm not so sure, but regardless, it's a very challenging program to get into. She was in the program. She met the son of the CEO of JetBlue on a flight because he changed seats to be next to her, which is very creepy.
Yeah,
and weird.
which is wild.
Because they had met in Utah. They're both Mormon, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going back to New York," and then he pulled some strings to get on the flight and get a seat with her, and then basically like asked her to start dating, and effectively asked her to leave Juilliard to get married and start a family, and they did. They now have eight children. She's only 34. So that would be like if I had 8 children.
What if I had just 8 kids right now, like just milling about out there?
Oh my God.
Like we're at my apartment and they're just hanging out, like standing in the doorway. Like, can I have some Nutella?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
She has
go have that. Leave mommy alone. She's potting.
She basically met this man and has been pregnant since.
Really has. And so her whole thing is, I think it's just part of this broader tradwife controversy that women are really struggling with. And I get it because it's touching on the nerve of a lot of things about like being a modern woman.
Yeah.
And like the hard portions of it that are there's a lot of bullshit that we have to deal with. And then there's a lot of like alternates. And then of course there's like Republicans getting in the mix, and we don't know really how to balance it all. So it's not just her, like there's others that are these influencer celebrities.
Nara Smith, you might know.
Yeah, and they're getting this attention, I think, because they represent extremely movie produced, like cookie, not what's the word, like really like idealistic version of what this life looks like.
Right.
When you are, not working a corporate job, or not even just a corporate job, but like a job, you're a traditional job. Obviously, being a mother is definitely work.
Especially if 8 children. Oh my God.
8 children. Jesus Christ. I mean, if you were trying to hire someone to take care of 8 kids,
they would be like, no, I'm literally $1 million a year.
Yeah, it would be you would have to pay me about $1 million a year, I think, to do that.
I mean, truly. That's
like if someone came to me
crazy.
right now on the street and was like, how much money would it take for you to take care of 8 children round the clock?
I mean, if you think
all
about
the time.
If you think about it, like when I'm hiring for a nanny, if I need one for this baby, if they were full time for one baby in New York City, it would probably, I don't fucking know. It would be close to 6 figures probably.
Let's see what the average cost of let's just do childcare.
But that's really broad though, because it could also include daycare in that, which is not cheap either in New York City.
Live-in nanny.
I also think that these tradwives, because the culture has been so much like, women shouldn't stay home and and like all this kind of stuff. It's almost counterculture at this point. Like watching someone like Nara Smith or someone like this Ballerina Farm girl be so traditional. It's kind of counterculture to what's been going on.
It's like $1,000 a week.
That's what it's looking
like. Yeah.
So $52,000.
$52,000.
Yeah. So that times 8.
To take care of 1 children, so times 8.
It's a lot.
It's maybe it's like a buy 3 get 1 free.
Yeah.
Kind of. You get like a punch card or something with the nanny.
Right.
But either way, so like it's a lot of money that people would pay in order to do this, as
Yeah.
But that's because it's your kids. Obviously, you're not paying it, and obviously there's benefits to it, right? Like people put that in the equation when they decide if one of the people should go back to work or not.
Absolutely. Like if you're listening from my corporate job, this is not decided, but me and Mark have had conversations about like our lifestyle and the way that he works and travels and how I also do stand up at night. Like, does it make sense for me to also be working 9 to 5? Or like we would have no family time together. So it's like case by case, family by family. And it's a perfectly valid thing to do. perfectly valid thing to do. There's nothing more important than bonding with your child, in my opinion. I know that sounds so fucking controversial, but it really is in today's world.
Yeah, I don't think that's that controversial. Obviously, people on both sides really value their children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's more just, and it's great, is now we have the options,
Exactly.
You can choose to do that. You can choose to, work with your partner and maybe go back to the office or start your own thing. Like that, and that's, I think, like, feminism is being able to
choose what's right for you and
choose your own adventure.
Also, I will say, like, the takes on the internet, by and large, when this first came out, were essentially, we feel bad for this woman, she's harming the feminist movement, like her husband is controlling her, all this stuff. And then
to put some context, I don't know if we mentioned the fact that Ballerina Farm exists, and they recently did an article on, what was the Times, right?
It was the Times, not the New York Times.
Yeah, not the New York Times.
It was just the Times out of the UK,
Yeah,
which is really weird.
This rogue UK British media. They took a break from Meghan Markle's slander, and they were like, who else in America can go fuck with? And it was her. It was Ballerina Farm. So they came over and they did this like in-person interview with her, and then the article came out and everyone freaked out. And it was so weird because I read the article and I was like, this is pretty mild.
Right.
It's fine.
It's essentially just like insinuating that her husband makes all the decisions and stuff like that, because in my opinion, the journalist was being very heavy-handed with that,
Kind of, but at the same time, she also says that she asked them, like, who's the CEO of the household, and he said, we're co-CEOs.
I saw that.
That was quoted in there as well. But people chose to focus on the negative stuff she said.
That doesn't sound like people.
Yeah, what? In my opinion, I think she gave a lot of really nice things about them.
Yeah.
She said that it was really well run, and the kids were actually doing a lot of like which was cool. Is like some of the kids were participating in taking care of the family.
Yes. Yeah.
So she like said a lot of nice things, but also she implied that there was like the portion of the article where she was talking about what's her name, Hannah's ballet career, and how she had left Juilliard early before finishing the program at the insistence of Daniel.
Which, by the way, they're Mormons, so he was probably just like, we have to have sex. We have to have it right now, immediately.
I am so horny. Yeah, because Mormons do that, the bed.
Yes, soaking.
But this has not come up nearly enough in the discourse. The fact that this man was like, we have to get married right now because I'm going to have sex with you.
Yeah.
Because Mormons, if you're not familiar, don't have sex until marriage, and
they don't drink either. Never trust a religion that doesn't drink.
They get real weird about sex too. They do this thing. I don't know if it's actually that popular or if like the internet's just weird.
I think it's kind of folklore, but it's still fun.
But I think it's fun. It's like the JD Vance fucking a couch.
Yes.
Like it's just like this is probably not true. Well, he didn't fuck a couch, or he did.
He probably did fuck a couch,
but he didn't write about it in Hillbilly LG.
Well, little boys do weird shit. They're fucking fruit. They're doing weird stuff.
So this man has never had sex in his life, allegedly, up to this point. And he wants to marry this girl because Mormons, or they'll do this thing where they lay on the bed and then their friends will jump around on it.
Yeah, so like they'll put their dick in the vagina and then
No, they won't put the dick in the vagina. They just dry hump.
No, I thought that the dick was they can't thrust, so they put the dick in the vagina and then somebody bounces next to them so that it just goes, and but they're not doing it.
Interesting.
That's what I heard.
I thought it was more of like a dry humping situation that they would.
Oh, okay.
But either way, point being, the fact that we know this much about how horny Mormons get, I kind of understand why he was like, let's get married. Please let us do this.
Yes. And she probably also was like, yes, oh my God, get me out of here.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right about Juilliard in the sense that like,
here's the other thing. So she was a ballerina and she went to Juilliard, and that's amazing. And that's really prestigious. Being a ballerina is really fucking hard.
Oh my God.
And you want to know what they make? Guess what they make? I looked it up.
You looked it up. Okay. Okay. So what are we talking? Like what troupe? Obviously it varies.
No, just do an average, like the average ballerina.
All right. The average
what,
ballerina.
Is she gonna be a fucking black swan right away?
I don't know. I'm going to say $25,000 a year.
Oh, wow. You underbed me. It averages about 30. Like majority of ballerinas will end up in the 30 if employed. Which is
yes.
Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who's hiring ballerinas right now?
No.
Do you know anyone? I don't know anyone.
I do know a ballerina.
Do you?
Sean,
we do live in New York.
Sean Murphy's girlfriend is a ballerina.
Wow.
And she tours the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, she probably makes
30 grand.
30 grand. Yeah. But
some of them do.
ballerina.
I will say the upper range gets up to about 150. So I think if you're like the lead ballerina in some really prestigious troupe, squad,
I don't know, team,
yeah. Ballet squad,
troupe,
whatever. Either way,
play.
If you're going all over the globe, sure, you can make some decent money. But your career also ends at about 35.
Yeah, I mean, you're pushing it at 35.
Yes, is an
I think.
point. So my summary on this is it's extremely difficult. People who do it often come from like extreme wealth.
Yeah.
Because you can't really support yourself very well,
right?
Unless you do a tech sales job while you're doing ballet.
Yes, that's what we would have to do.
We'd have to do this, and then I'd have to like strap my fucked up toes together and hit the stage.
Under no circumstances and any dream I have in my life do I not imagine myself at a sales tech job while I'm doing this dream.
Yes, absolutely. I could be like big time touring comedian. I'd be like, all right, like time to log into Salesforce.
Same.
Gotta update the CRM.
Exactly. It is comforting to get that paycheck, I will say.
Oh,
very
yes,
comforting.
of course.
I could bomb this Netflix special. Who cares? I got my day job.
Whatever. I work at LinkedIn. It's
worked
fine.
at LinkedIn. Oh God, don't work at LinkedIn. Don't ever work at LinkedIn.
It's fine. But so this is another thing is I was just like, okay, so like she's not an idiot.
She's not an idiot.
And they lived in New York for a while. So she probably lived here for a while and was like, bet.
Yeah.
Like I've done it.
I have to marry this multimillionaire and not make 30 grand a year, which I probably wouldn't have made because maybe I actually wasn't that good.
Or I wouldn't have gotten hired, or like an injury.
Yeah,
like there's
anything.
so much risk in being a ballerina. I think it's one of those things that people, and like with the Olympics, you see it a lot right now. Where you're like, oh my God, that person's amazing. They're a professional. I was going to say sharpshooter, but that's so funny because it's the one job. That's the one Olympic one where I'm like, you probably could get a job afterwards.
Yeah,
work
that's
at security.
true.
You could work,
That's actually hilarious.
helping at the Trump press conferences or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, like the gymnasts, for instance.
Yeah.
That's not a transferable skill.
No, it's not. You got to like parlay that shit into some brand deals and then do a podcast. I don't know what the fuck.
Right.
Something.
Exactly.
I'm sure Simone Biles will parlay this into something.
Oh, she'll be fine. But like, I mean, just talking like random average gymnast.
Oh, yeah. No, random average gymnast, that's it, really.
It's cool, and it's a cool part of your life, but I think that maybe at this point she was kind of like, okay, well, where are we going from here? And like, a lot of people in the community are like, oh, this is not an easy lifestyle.
That, and she is Mormon after all. So in her plan, she's like, oh, this is great. I was planning on getting married and starting a family anyway. I probably wasn't planning on, like, I don't know.
This timeline, maybe?
Maybe
but a little bit longer. And
a little longer. I wanted to graduate from Juilliard, try to professionally dance longer, but she, I don't know.
Yeah.
It worked out for her in the end. It's okay.
Well, so I think mostly this girl wants to be a star, and she was able to take this route instead. So what happened is they left New York. She left Juilliard, but they didn't go straight to Utah, which I also think they did. They talked about it in the article, and no one fucking brings it up.
Wait, I missed that entirely.
They moved to Rio. She lived in Rio with him for multiple years.
That was in the original article?
Yeah.
How did
I miss that? It was
I
at the very
that?
bottom.
Oh, that's so
It was
funny.
she was dancing professionally while she was there.
Yeah, she was dancing professionally for a little bit.
So she had a whole bunch of kids, and she was dancing professionally in Rio de Janeiro, which is sick. I have no idea what she was doing. Like what is it? Flamenco?
Definitely not
Hitting
flamenco.
Mardi Gras.
She was probably still doing ballet down there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. But point being, like, it sounds like she it's not like she was immediately taken to the farm and sold for glue or something like that. This lady was able to go down to Rio and spend a couple years or whatever pumping out babies. But at the same time, she was also dancing and doing that kind of stuff. And she was quoted to say that the first couple of years of their marriage were really, really difficult. And it sounded like he was originally, so his dad we haven't talked about him much.
Yeah.
Let's talk about him for a second. I'm sorry. I'm like,
no, it's fine. No, go for it.
All over it.
Daniel Neeleman.
So Daniel Neeleman is the son of David Neeleman. And David Neeleman, everyone obviously knows who that is. No, he is actually very, very successful businessman. He founded JetBlue. Heard of it?
I have. I've flown it many times.
Many a time, and they used to be better.
They did used to be
I'll
better.
say
Come
that.
on, step it up. What the fuck?
I'll say it.
Okay.
Used to be better. And then a couple of other ones too. I think it was like Tap Portugal.
I've flown that too.
Yeah, me too. Also
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Also not great. And then there was a couple others too. So point being, he's like an aviation entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, and quite good at it. Like the fact that we know these brands means they're making in a lot of money.
Yes.
And I think he was quoted of having, or like estimated to have about $400 million, which I kind of thought he'd have more.
No, that's just his son.
Oh, his son has
That's
it.
just his
not his
son.
dad.
Daniel has 400,000, I think.
400 million.
Million is what I meant. 400,000.
No, wait, I think that was his dad.
Let
What would
me-
he have
let
it
me see.
from? Because this is what my point is. So Daniel was, he got his undergrad. I don't even think it was from I don't think it was from an Ivy.
Yeah, Daniel
Which doesn't matter.
Neeleman, blah, blah, blah.
And then he went down to Rio to be the director of one of his dad's security companies. And he didn't continue doing that. So I think that Daniel was struggling with the corporate grind too.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be a corporate girly either.
No, nobody does.
Nobody does.
We
I
just
totally
are.
get it.
We just are.
So they went down there. She's fucking dancing. He's corporate girlying. And then they're both like, fuck it. We want to have 4 more kids.
We want to have 100 kids. By the way, I was so fucking wrong. You're right. It was his father that had 400 million. He is reported to have a net worth of 6 million. Her husband.
It's great.
I will say these quotes are really wrong because Mark's is extremely wrong.
That's true.
So
let's assume, but either way, we can assume
got a lot
He's got a
of
lot of money. He's doing well, and then his dad is doing very well, like very, very well, right? Not a billionaire, but like in the world of that group. Listen, more money than I have by a lot. So Daniel is down in Rio getting his ass kicked by having to show up to the all hands all the fucking time. He's so sick of it. He is so sick of it.
Oh, it's terrible. I get it.
Yeah, and so they go to Utah and they decide to launch Ballerina Farm. Another thing I found interesting, why do you think they named it Ballerina Farm?
I don't know.
Ballerina Farm is great branding, isn't it?
I mean, I guess.
Pushing this whole ballet narrative.
Yeah.
It's memorable. It's easy to remember. That was like the tag. It's all their merch.
All of their merch. Yeah.
This is a branding thing. They're fucking grifters. Not even grifters. This is
No,
a
they're just-
legitimate business.
That's
but I'm just
legitimately
like,
business.
but I'm just like,
Yeah. So should we talk a little bit about like the online discourse and why I think it's just like interesting to see the 2 different types of
Yeah.
back and forth?
well, maybe we go a little bit further into this real quick because I just want to
Okay.
also emphasize. So they go to do the Ballerina Farm. They like brand everything around her. Like they're really pushing her.
Yeah. I mean, she's beautiful and she's also a beauty queen, by the way, which
She's
is
a
another
beauty
thing.
queen. She famously, she was like Miss NYC, and then she became, I think, Mrs. Utah or something along those lines.
Yep.
Mrs. Note, like, did the Mrs. competition.
Oh, interesting.
And she did it 2 weeks after having one of her kids.
She did 12 weeks postpartum. She
12 days postpartum.
12 days, sorry. 12 days postpartum. She was competing as
Was it Miss
Miss
Utah?
World.
Oh, Mrs. World.
Mrs. World. Mrs. World.
Wow.
She had been
nuts.
crowned Mrs. American in August of 2023, and then she was invited back to compete in Mrs. World, and she did so in 5-inch heels when she was 12 days postpartum.
Which is wild, but it was like her 5th kid, so like, I'm sorry, the pussy's probably just like,
I will
Get it
be
out.
no,
Do you think it
it was
gets
her
easier?
8th kid.
it was her 8th kid.
I do
okay,
think
at that
it's-
point, it's like a fucking trip to the grocery store. What are you talking about?
I do
That's not
think-
even impressive anymore.
I do think it gets easier because she said it was a 1-push baby, and I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah, not even impressive, folks.
Also, like, that's something I want to talk about real quick. In the article, she does say, she's like, I give birth naturally. Only for like 1 or 2, she had an epidural and did it in the hospital. I think it's probably like specifics around those pregnancies.
Which, by the way, I am glad that she did.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they were not like, no, it has to be natural. Instead, we're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, the doctors said that it's just risky.
Right.
For
But
whatever reason, for this one, it shouldn't do it. And they
I-
listened, which is good.
let me tell you something. My hot take. I'm very like live and let live. Your choices are your choices. They don't threaten mine. I don't give a fuck. Whatever you can do and say and believe whatever the hell you think.
I will judge you.
Yes, at home births, I'm fucking judging you. I am judging the shit out of you. I do not give a fuck if the doctor is like, this will be a really easy birth. The baby's in perfect position. You're healthy. The baby's healthy.
Yeah.
Let's go. Go to the fucking hospital. You can set mood lighting in the hospital. You can play the music that you want. You can have whatever. Births are unpredictable.
Yeah.
For you and the baby.
People die and the baby dies. And
And it's unhygienic and it's gross.
It's a risk to the lives of both the mother and the child. It increases the percentage, like if there is a complication, it increases your chance of mortality.
It's period.
Hard period. So like why? And if you did something that risked the life of the kid at that same level 3 days after it was born, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
True.
You know what I mean?
I
don't really get it.
I don't get it either. I saw a movie a few years ago, and it was about basically somebody gave birth at home, the baby died, and then it was like the court case around it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm glad that actually was a court case, because kind of wondering, I was like, you just like, oh no,
right? And I was
Damn.
like, I was watching this, and I had such a hard time watching this movie because I was like, who the fuck am I supposed to root for? I don't feel bad for these parents because I don't agree with their choice to put that risk involved. And I also don't feel bad for this midwife because she's fucking insane for enabling this.
I don't know,
it's a bad movie. I didn't like it.
I will say, what happens, is it cheaper to do it at home?
Oh my God, yes. You don't have to.
So that
much
is a
cheaper.
complication that just kind of leans back towards the health insurance in America's bananas, this entire
It's crazy.
system. But I guess, sympathize with the people who are like, okay, I fucking can't afford to go to a hospital, which is horrible.
That's horrifying.
And I would assume there's some programs in place, but like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
We're not educated enough to give like enough of a discussion on that home birth
Also-
stuff. But we will say this lady certainly had the funds
She got the
to
funds.
hit the hospital.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, the whole like discourse online that's just like tradwife versus corporate girly versus like, and now specifically with what's going on in the media right now with like single cat ladies and trying to like defend each other's
Trying
way
to
of
make us
living.
fight internally.
Yeah, they are trying to make us fight, and it's fucking working. There's a lot of women that are like,
I'm not fighting with anyone.
I'm not fighting with anyone. I don't care if you want to have 8 kids. I don't care if you want to have
It's
0
wild.
kids.
I know a lot of Mormons who do have like that many kids. And I would count them as my friends. And I would never trade lives with them.
Right, but that's okay.
But I'm also like, great, cute, have fun. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. I'm glad you live in a country where you can do what you want to do, and I can do what I want to do. And it's like, when you post your shit on Instagram, I'm gonna hit you with a like.
we're gonna smash that like.
Smash the like. And sometimes, if it's a big thing, I'll come on and go, congrats.
But
So-
I famously am like obsessed with how Europe does everything. I think that they do everything very well. As someone who's just like looking in, and it's like even just the fact that it's such a almost taboo to be like, oh, women can do everything. It's like, but they shouldn't be expected to do everything, like all that stuff. It doesn't really exist as much in the conversation in those countries because they give them so much support. They actually value mothers over there. Wow, what a concept. They don't have some like insane policy where you're supposed to get off your ass and go back to work after you just met your fucking child 6 weeks before. Like, it's so sick how we do things in this country where I feel like there'd be less combativeness between the two groups of women, because there's some places in Europe where literally your job is protected for 3 full years.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Granted, that's why they're not very competitive in capitalism right now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but like, I know, but like, I want to be valued.
But no, I hear you. I agree with you. But yeah, we're working on it.
I'm just staring down the barrel of judgment.
It's a complicated ass issue because, yeah. But I will say, where was I going with this? Fuck, I had a good point.
You
and
had
I
a good
lost
point.
it.
Fuck, I'm so
Damn
sorry.
it.
No,
It's good. No, you didn't ruin it for me. It's going to come back. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So I think right now, part of the reason this is getting so much attention from women around is it's so much pressure and it's so hard to have kids right now.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's very
like, it is
challenging.
not, I don't know. And I don't want to say it's harder or easier than it was in the past. I wasn't around. I can't really comment on that.
Yeah.
But it does seem economically like it's a lot more difficult. I will say this. Previously, in previous generations, one person was expected to work in the household, usually the male, And that person working a normal ass job could support a family of 2 to 3 children.
Right.
And it didn't seem like it was that big of a stretch. Now, 2 people working full time, like Matt and I, if we were to have a child, like we could do it. Obviously, we could change our lifestyle and stuff. We're probably a bad example, but like let's assume like a normal couple, both working. It's a challenge for them to support 1 child.
Yeah.
So that's like a flaw in our economic system right now, where like, and that's why there's really low birth rates, and I think a lot of guilt and frustration from especially the mothers and the fathers too. Like, you know, there's those guys are also like, fuck, I'd like to have a kid, you know, but like, can we afford it?
Right, exactly. I'd like to have a kid and not have to spend, you know, whatever it is, wherever you live, $2,000 in daycare every month.
Right.
But it's like, but my wife also can't afford to quit her job, or I can't afford to quit my job. So we both have to be working.
It's something that everybody is feeling really like worried and concerned and guilty about. And a lot of people have been like, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. And I don't blame them at all, because I'm like, yeah,
of course.
It's so hard. Of course.
It's
but then at
hard.
the same time, like birth rates are going down, and like having a family is
enriching, you know, to really a lot of people. And it's
allegedly, you know, seems like a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. I'll find out. I'll report back.
Yeah, report back.
I just come back to the pod
and
after birth. I'm like, yeah,
fucking just skip it.
I mean, I could say pretty confidently right now that I'm gonna say childbirth 0 out of 10. I think.
No, yeah.
I think the actual baby of it all and the fun will be nice. I think it'll be good. I guess. I hope.
I think it'll be good. And I think it's just difficult that like right now, like there's like the way that our system is set up is just not ideal for people to have children.
Well, and also, I mean, I will say this, like I've been like,
our generation's getting fucked.
It really is. And like societally, I've been kind of fucked up. I'm sort of realizing right now, because I'm like, if I take a break from my job, I'm gonna feel like I'm failing as an adult, which is
you're
like
always failing. Though.
So yeah, that's true. But I'm like, it's so
May specifically.
No, you're not wrong. But like,
no, you're not. You're doing great.
It is crazy to think that way, because I've just always been raised with the mentality of like, I would never quit my job to raise a family. And now that it's happening to me, I'm like, why the fuck not? Like, it's what the hell is more important than like going to the park and spending meaningful family time with this baby? Like, and it's so, but I feel like the judgment and the pressure and all this stuff in a way that is not normal. It's also kind of like not really my personality to care that much about societal norms and shit, but it does feel like I'm like counterculture to take a break from my job, which is,
I do think that that's also just part of where you live. You know, in New York City, like everyone's like, grind till you literally die.
Yeah.
That's the whole mindset here. Versus in other areas, it's considered a lot more normal. And I think ultimately, again, everybody should be able to do what's best for their situation specifically. And that brings me to why I think these guys specifically do deserve a lot of the criticism that they're being given. So they go to Utah, they start Ballerina Farm, and Ballerina Farm's entire purpose is to kind of romanticize and make this process of having 8 kids and running a successful farm in the middle of the fucking nowhere country of the United States of America, and make that seem like easy breezy.
Yeah, they do make it seem very easy breezy. I will give the author credit that she does say that she's like, they do seem as calm as they do online, and and like,
and I
children
bet
are very
they
chill.
are. I bet they are, because it's funded by his fucking dad.
Yeah, they got no worries.
They got no worries. Meanwhile, I was reading about this, and I came across this thread that was written by a farmer, and she was like, hey, fuck her. I don't give a shit about her job. The fact that they're trying to make running a farm look like this like aesthetic, beautiful thing that you're doing, when farmers across the country are going bankrupt, literally bankrupt. They are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, because it is borderline impossible to run a farm that's not part of a huge conglomerate. Literally. In this country right now. We should probably talk about it at some point. I bet it's like kind of depressing / not as exciting.
Not as exciting.
There's there's no like aesthetic pictures. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just sucks like that and it's because they're not being transparent about like, hey, like obviously this is not sustained by the fucking meat boxes,
Right.
or the merch that we're selling online, which by the way is from Amazon.
Yeah, it's literally from Amazon.
I literally sent
You
May a link, and I was like, "This is the same product that they're selling."
Think that they would have amped it up after this article, or like before have seen this coming with the article. 'Cause I actually said this to you when like so much of the public discourse was like, "Oh, this poor woman, blah blah blah," and it was very like, "Oh, like she needs saving," and all this shit. And when we were talking about it, I was like, "I feel like she's in on it," and you were like, "I don't know." And now now we've looked into it. You're like, "Oh yeah, she's in on it."
I read like a couple things, and I was like, "Yeah, she's a grifter."
So we think that she's sort of knew that this was going to be this big PR
She's a
shitstorm.
narcissist. She's fucking Mrs. World. Are you kidding me, dude?
Right. And I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't you like prep for that and be like, okay, we're going to get a ton of attention. Let's put out some new products, exciting products you can't get other places. Maybe we'll put out like a little kids clothing line, something, something like really
that would
good.
probably be pretty cute.
That would be cute. Although I don't want sad beige cowboy children.
That's true.
Me specifically,
But like a nice
other
denim,
people would.
like a cute little denim jacket.
Yeah, other people would love that. That says Ballerina Farm. Oh, that would actually be really cute. A little girl in a denim jacket that says Ballerina.
That's adorable.
That's nice.
But that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I think that this is just a cash grab for them, that they want to continue to grow their brand so that they can,
Which God forbid they're allowed to do.
which they're totally allowed to do. But like where I have an issue is them making this seem so easy. Like it almost is like a little bit like hitting the shame button in people who are watching and just being like, wow, they've run this like cool farm business, famously very difficult to do. They look beautiful and they have 8 kids, and I can't manage like my job because me and my husband both have to work, and we have 2 kids, and we're struggling to put fucking rent in on our rental apartment in like fucking Sedona.
Yeah.
And actually, that's a bad example because Sedona's beautiful. Like it's like pretty, it's
sure.
a pretty expensive place.
In Bushwick, let's say that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somewhere.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
Pick
Also-
a random town, but like you get what I'm saying. Where I'm like, and I know it's influencers everywhere. I was like, she's too skinny. She's too. Her breasts are too large. Like she's got so many designer bags. They're always looking for something to put on their page, and it's for people to go and be like, wow, I wish I could be like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what she's pushing, and there's no. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's
It
nothing
is
wrong with that.
capitalist, baby. But
I don't like that it's funded by his dad.
yeah,
That like kind of bothers me a little bit. But I also like I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not naive.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? I mean, I'm not that mad about it. It's fine.
I just think I think it just makes people feel bad for no reason.
Yeah.
I wish if they had been a little bit more transparent and were like, yeah, this is really hard.
Yeah.
Then I would maybe feel a little bit better. So also like just the reality, like she's a reality TV person is the ultimate. Like she's not on actual reality TV, but this is just the same as trying to be a personality online who is ultimately going to try to sell you something.
You know what? I bet they're trying to get a reality show.
Oh,
Baller-
wait, yeah, you're totally right. And I bet they'll get one.
They probably will. I wouldn't probably watch that one because it's not extremely wealthy people yelling at each other over a dinner table, and that's the type I like. But I think that I would like to see. I think people would watch it.
They definitely would. Also, I wanted to note that they're running a business and not just they're running a bit like it's not just a merch thing on their website. They have 3 farm workers they employ, 30 warehouse workers, 10 office people, and 1 creative director. So that's 44 jobs at the company that they're running. That's a decent sized company.
That is.
For a small business,
Yeah, and there's not really tons of products here, like at all.
I know, but the farm of it all.
The farm of it all.
And he described them as co-CEOs. So I think she's fine.
I think she's fine as well. And also, by the way, if you're really worried about people being abused by the patriarchy and by religious practices and all this stuff, you know where we could walk to right now? Hasidic Williamsburg. So there's a lot more people in much dire situations than this woman. And I know I'm not saying she doesn't have hard days. I'm just saying let's all take it easy. Okay. Obviously she's made active choices in her life. She grew up in the Mormon church. This is probably more than she's ever dreamed of. I mean, this is kind of really nice.
She wanted to be a star, and she is one.
And she is one. Massive star. I did not know her name until 2 days ago, and I'll never forget it now because I'm going to associate, the Ballerina Farm girl.
Yeah.
They're really pretty blonde. But also, she had a glow up. I don't know if you saw the footage from their wedding.
No, I didn't.
She was very cute. I mean, she's always been extremely cute, obviously, but now she like really is a hot lady.
I mean, I think she's gotten work done because it's part of her brand.
I mean, she looks fantastic.
She's a reality TV aspiring star.
I mean,
so she's got to work that all out.
Yeah.
I will say, should we talk about one of the things that really bothered me that she did?
Yes.
Was so her dad got sick.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple. Oh, there's two things that she
Okay.
did that pissed me the fuck off. And Hannah decides to start a GoFundMe to her followers. So she's a grifter to try to get people to donate for her dad's medical treatments.
Yeah, this is after she's married, by the way, to the son of the CEO of JetBlue.
So like,
So take that.
She's religious. Remember this. She's very religious, very Mormon, and a whole thing there is like about like, you know, donating to the poor and stuff like that. So one might imagine that you wouldn't qualify yourself as that and needing donations from the broader community in order to get your dad care. You have the money.
Yeah.
Hannah, if she was asking her followers for money to donate to the poor people in her community or the disabled,
Someone in her
that
community
would be
that
very
needs medical
religious.
bills.
It's always they're so hypocritical.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Because humans are flawed. And so the idea of like, oh, you're a part of this religion, you have to be exactly perfect, that idea is flawed.
Yep.
But this in particular is like super weird because they can more than afford to pay for the fathers.
$50,000 was they were trying to raise too. Not like a little sum of money.
But
and then they ended up raising $98,000.
Yeah.
From,
so it's like, what's up?
It's suspicious. So and I also haven't seen anyone talking about it online. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is really weird that someone who is very wealthy would be doing this.
Right. It's I remember.
And then also like her father-in-law donated $10,000 and then the mother-in-law donated another $10,000.
GoFundMes are kind of like just an interesting concept to me in general. I remember one of my mom's best friends got really sick with cancer and I asked his wife, I was like, oh, are you going to set up a GoFundMe? I was like, you know, I'll share it. I'll do whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, we have insurance.
Right.
She was like, what? No, we're good. Like,
we have health insurance. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, yeah. And so I think like so many of the GoFundMe, look into the GoFundMes that you send money to because some of them also will be like, oh, we're a family in the Ukraine or wherever and blah, blah. It's going to a man in Nigeria. It's going to a woman.
Nigerian prince.
It's going to a Nigerian prince. It's going to somebody in Russia, ironically. Yeah. It's going to all of these places.
That is so funny that it's going to someone in
amazing.
Russia.
It might. It
Probably.
fucking might. I mean, I've seen enough 90 Day Fiancé to know that most people online are scamming you. If they're asking for money, it's a scam.
Well, and specifically for this one, you can definitely tell that they kind of knew this was weird because Hannah started the GoFundMe and was promoting it to her followers, and she started getting shit for it, obviously, for obvious reasons. So then she transferred the GoFundMe to her sister's name, who is also relatively prominent online. So she wanted like to have like a little layer between her, and it hasn't shown up in a bunch of the articles. I had to dig around for it, and I found it, Hannah. That's weird. Other weird things she did that really skeeved me out was when her father did eventually pass. They had this lovely funeral for him, and she did first of all a video.
Get ready with me while I go to my dad's funeral. It wasn't literally that, but it was like
it was pretty close.
That. Yeah.
Actually, I think it was weirder. I would have maybe actually been more comfortable with her doing a literal get ready with me while I go to my dad's funeral.
Yeah.
Than what she did do, but she films the entire thing of them like running around mourning the passing of her father.
She videotaped like what looked like her mother. I don't know if it actually was. Maybe her aunt or whatever, literally over the casket crying and saying their goodbyes. And this was filmed on camera and posted to the world.
That's weird. That's really weird.
No,
but
that's
even
strange.
Weirder, if you can believe it, is there was this wall of flowers, which I guess she had also asked her followers to donate flowers, which like, bitch, fucking relax. Like, if you're so religious, shouldn't that money be going to poor people? Anyway.
Okay, wait, pause for 1 second. I'm looking at the flower section of Ballerina Farm, and it says about us. My parents have been florists for over 40 years. My siblings and I were practically born in the flower shop. Why the fuck did they need donations?
Donated flowers. I don't know, dude. These people are weird. they're strange people. So
Yeah.
there was this big wall of flowers, and they kind of show it to you at one point. It's like thick and like woven, and you could, it kind of looks like a piece of fabric, you know, if you would put that together. So then at the end of this video, in which she is actively at her dad's funeral, like touring around the fucking place, they take it and they go what looks like upstairs to this photo studio that's, of course, right away set up, has a professional crew there. And she puts together this like sash on the top and then makes a dress out of the funeral flowers for her dad.
Yes.
And goes and does a full glam photo shoot in all of the flowers from her dad's fucking casket.
But not even like
somber.
not somber, not like artsy, not something. And by the way, if you want to do something like that, like
Pop off, but
keep it private, keep it like special. Putting it online skeeves me. It's the online of it all that skeeves me.
The online of it all. The fact that she did all of that, took these like glamorous pictures, which weren't like, it certainly wasn't evident that she was trying to honor her father at all through this. And then immediately posted this entire reel and like all this, it was content. It was online content to gain more visibility for herself.
Yeah.
Using your dad's funeral.
Probably to boost his flower business. She's sending out flower boxes too.
It's weird, dude. That's weird. I don't like it.
It's unethical.
It's disrespectful, I
minimum.
think, to the guy who just died.
It's
and to me, because I said, I gave it a,
because we said, no, I don't like it.
I said, that was weird.
Yeah.
But she knew it would go viral.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's weird, dude.
I feel like sometimes I give people too much credit in the sense that I'm like, everything is contrived. But in this case, I was right.
No, she's definitely in on it.
And
okay, so
100% right.
So the people online right now are like, save Hannah. Like, she only got one epidural.
Yeah.
Like, she wants all this stuff. I'm like, Hannah's fine.
Also, the discourse about the epidural in particular, they were like, oh, she had to lower her voice because they said they were this fucking journalist, dude. They go, oh, Daniel had to take a call, and then Hannah lowered her voice and was like, I did get one epidural. It's like, yeah, she probably lowered her voice because he's on a call, not because he's
right.
Also, this is a public interview.
He's gonna read it.
He's gonna read it. She's not gonna give information like that if it's something that he doesn't know about.
Exactly. What do you think he doesn't? Do you think you're gonna tell the reporter?
Yeah.
Whose literal job is to write an article about it, something that's going to get you like beat to shit by your husband?
You would have to be the most naive person in the world, which
she's
Mormons are pretty naive, but not that
They're
naive.
not that naive. They're very smart.
They
They're
actually
very good
scam.
business people.
They scam
very
the
good
shit
business
out of people.
They do a lot of MLMs, I'll tell you that. Where all the MLMs, they're top tier
Yeah.
in the MLM.
I wonder if she's going to become an MLM. You can have your own Ballerina Farm flower thing.
That would be. We'll see.
Yikes.
Yeah. And then I saw one person. I can't even take this as a personal like take, but I thought this was so good. Was like they like many rich people who get really bored and especially are going online for clout are cosplaying as being working class.
People love doing this. When you get super rich, people are like, I'm doing a challenge where I can only spend $5 over 4 days or something like that. And it's like, oh my God, just be rich.
Just be rich.
They love cosplaying as
poor people.
It's very interesting.
Or like even just like the fashion sometimes when you look around and you're like,
yeah,
you're dressing like you're poor. Like it's weird.
Right. That's like you and your toothpaste. You never buy toothpaste.
Oh,
No, she has toothpaste. I'm just saying, like she like gets the end of the toothpaste.
Oh yeah,
squeezing out the.
Yes, that's
sorry.
me being cosplaying being poor.
Yeah.
I literally insist.
I'm like, Laura brushes her teeth. Don't worry.
I will sit there with a empty container of toothpaste, just like fucking squeezing one last brush out of it.
That's funny.
Just get a new toothpaste thing, Laura.
What do I cosplay?
You stupid idiot.
I would say my wardrobe. I love shopping at places like Princess Polly. Actually, we both do.
Polly Pocket.
Polly Pocket is what we call it.
This top is from Princess Polly Pocket.
Yeah, why not?
Which we did do an episode on fast fashion, so I should.
I love it where like fast fashion is killing the environment and it's employing small children. We're like, anyway, shop at Princess Polly.
Princess Polly, let's be real, is a tiny bit more expensive than Shein. So I like to think that they're killing only one kid per article of clothing.
They live in castles.
Versus 3.
Everyone who works at Princess Polly is living in a palazzo.
Made by Polly Pockets.
Yeah.
Guys, good times. Any closing thoughts?
No.
We had a lot of takes.
I'm actually really interested to see the comments on this because I feel like people have had the strongest opinions and we're either going to open some minds or piss people the fuck off.
And I think a lot of our normal listeners are probably going to be like, huh?
Yeah.
Who is she?
What? Yeah. Anyway, so go ahead and leave a comment either way and let us know what you guys think about the Ballerina fucking farm lady and her husband and all that shit. Let us know what you think about that and leave us a comment below. Like and subscribe. Please follow us on Instagram, Risque Business News. Follow me on Instagram, May_Plannert.
And me at Laura Sogar. And donate to my GoFundMe for my... I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? Like, my dad is sick.
We also have stickers now. So that's exciting. We got stickers we can send out to people. We should send them out to the people on that list.
I know.
Remember? So we'll do that. We just got stickers coming. Yeah. Enjoy your lives.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.